Please watch this video first. What an intro, huh? So, I'm Nadir. I'm the CEO of REM19 e-commerce consulting. We deliver results for e-commerce beauty brands. So I just wanted to make this video for you just to save you a lot of time actually. Is to see if you are a good fit and if I can actually deliver results for you or not. So I'll just ask you a few questions in this video. If these questions resonate with you and the answers make sense to you, then we probably are a good fit. If not, that's absolutely fine. We can part as friends and I've saved you a whole lot of time. All right, so let's just quickly get started. As I said, I just had a few questions for you. So is this you? Are you an e-commerce beauty brand that one is dealing with the freelancer trap? What exactly is this freelancer trap, you ask? Well, I'll let you know. Just give me a second. I'll come back to that. So number two, have you ever been burned by marketing agencies before, promising you the world but not delivering results? Number three, is there any predictability in your marketing? Do you just run ads ad hoc whenever you need it, whenever you have to hit the quarterly goals, or you have to pay your employees their salaries, or is there an actual system that consistently delivers revenue to you, right? Ever wondering why your marketing campaigns are not getting the results you expected? You probably tried it yourself and something didn't work. You tried it with freelancers, agencies, it didn't work, and there's a missing piece, usually, right? Well, there actually is, and I'm gonna show you how each of these are actually symptoms of deeper problems. And if you can solve that deeper problem, we automatically solve each of these issues. So the first two, this freelancer trap and the marketing agencies. So, you probably tried marketing. You have a great e-commerce brand. You tried marketing by yourself first, and you tried some of the campaigns that you learned. You probably didn't get the results you were dreaming of, right? So you hired this freelancer, and you're thinking, oh yeah, this freelancer, they probably know more than I do. They'll do the job, and they'll get the results I need, right? So you hired this freelancer, maybe on Upwork or something, and she's doing her job, and then after a while you see the results, and it's not the results you expected, right? So you're like, okay, maybe it's this freelancer. So you hire another one, and he's doing his job, and he's saying, oh yeah, I can do that. And so he did it, and he didn't get the results you expected as well. And you're thinking, oh, is it me? Is it the freelancers? Is there something I'm missing? Maybe that marketing agency that called me, maybe they're the ones who can actually do it, right? Because they're an agency after all. It's not just one freelancer. They have multiple people. They'll figure it out. They've probably already figured it out. So you tried it with this agency that promised you the world, and they're doing all their work, and you don't get the results you wanted again. And you're wondering, oh my goodness, when will this ever work out? Do I have to keep doing this the rest of my life, right? And I know how you feel, because I actually have a couple of e-commerce beauty brands myself, and that's how I started, and those are the problems I faced. And so here's what I discovered. These two, right, points 1 and 2, is part of the freelancer trap. What that means is you hire someone, it doesn't work. You hire someone else, it doesn't work, and you're stuck, and you have a hole in your pocket, and you don't know what the issue is. So the issue that I found out is that these two are symptoms of this problem. So freelancers and agencies, they provide a service, right? They do this Facebook ads for you. They said, I'll provide this service for X amount of dollars. So they're providing the service, and the service itself does not produce the results. There's a strategy behind the service, and there's a creativity that is unique to your customers and to your company that dictate the strategy which you execute with these agencies and these freelancers with their services. So for example, just because you post a Facebook ad that says 50% off does not mean you'll get results. What it really means is people don't just buy from a ad that says 50% off. They need to have built trust. They have to build desire with what you're selling. And then once they have the trust with you and the desire, then when they're ready to buy, maybe the cost is too high. And that's when that ad sells them, right? Converts them and turns them into a customer. So freelancers and agencies, they are not the ones who do the thinking for you. They're not the ones who come up with creative strategies. They're not the ones who know your customers' desires and pain points well enough as you, right? They're just providing a service, and a service by itself, as I said, does not produce the results. You need creativity, you need strategy, you need to know your customers, what resonates with them, what engages them, what gets them to buy. And that is the missing piece. You need the thinking and the strategy and the creativity, and then you hire someone like those agencies and the freelancers to do and execute your strategy, and that's when you get the results. So that's what I actually come in and solve. My agency, we come up with not just execution. Anybody of the street who took a Facebook course can execute it for you. That's not the differentiator, and that's not the hard part. The hard part is coming up with creative solutions and strategies that they can implement, right? Because creativity, you cannot outsource that. You cannot copy that. It's creative, right? Same thing with strategic. It's going to change all the time as strategies become saturated. You have to come up with new strategies and be innovative. And so we as a marketing agency come up with new creative ideas and strategies that we execute on, and that gets us the results. So the underlying problem really is not the actual service and the tactics. As I said, most people can already do that. The differentiator and the underlying problem to solve is the creativity and the strategy that you need to come up with based on your customers and your uniqueness. And then when you hire the agencies, the freelancers, they can execute and come up with results. So we help you solve that underlying deeper problem, coming up with creative strategies and methods. And the way we can do that is because we have worked with other e-commerce beauty brands, and we have ran other e-commerce beauty brands. We know the strategies that work because we have done it with so many other people, right? So many other clients, as well as ourselves. And we've done it for over 10 years. We know what works. And then when it doesn't, it becomes saturated, we can always come up with other creative ideas that also work. And then, once you figure that out, then everything else flows easily. And so that's one of the first ideas, right? And the third and fourth, right? Predictability in your marketing and why you're not getting the results you expect. Well, the reason is because when you put one ad, you're just thinking in terms of that ad, how many sales it can make, whether you should turn it on and off, if your ad is doing well or not. But marketing is not just one ad, right? It's a campaign. You have to think about different ads in sequence, and you get the buyer through their journey so they're ready to buy. So you can have, maybe you start with an ad that talks about your value and about you, right? About your store. And then your second ad could be the value that you deliver, your uniqueness, and something that they will desire. When they read, they'll desire your product. And then you can give a promotional ad, because then you have already built the desired trust that's necessary to buy, and then the buying part comes in later on with that ad, which makes the sale. So many times, since we are not thinking of the whole campaign as like one big strategic implementation, we look at one ad, we just see the ad that makes a sale, always the last one. It's usually that 50% off ad. So we run that one ad and we see, why is that not working? It's because there's all these other ads that helped get the customer to that point of the 50% off ad to actually make the sale. So what you actually have to think about is not just in one ad, but as a campaign, and how you create sequences of ads that get your customer closer to make the sale. So then, in order to get consistent, predictable results in your marketing campaign, you devise systems and campaigns that consistently work, because it consistently, efficiently moves your customer from interest to attention to desire to purchase. And A lot of this, in order to make a good campaign, you have to think about not just the last ad, but the ads before, and how do you give credit to different ads, right? You give each of those four ads that made the sale 25% of the credit, equal credit, or you give more credit to the last ad and a little less credit to the first ad, right? How do you make the credit? How do you allocate credit, and how do you create a system that creates those results for you consistently, right? That is the idea of attribution and the problem of attribution. And how do I know that? It's because I've been doing it for 10 years, right, with e-commerce beauty brands. So I know what works. So that's why I start figuring out idea of attribution, how to allocate credit properly, how to devise the entire marketing campaign, not just throw up an ad. Anyone can do that. That's not the hard part. It's coming up with the strategy and how to create a campaign that consistently produces results, right? And that's where the expertise, true expertise and creativity comes in. And that's really what we do, right? We come up with creativity, things that you have not even have thought of, have considered, because you're not spending 10 hours a day, 10 years thinking about marketing and how to be the best marketer, right? You're there to do what you're passionate about with your products, right? And that's why the way we come in is we have already done all the marketing with our market, right? With our niche, and we know what works because we have been doing it for so long. We kind of are already on the forefront of that market, right? In delivering results. That's why I know attribution. That's how I can tell you your predictability comes from creating a consistent marketing campaign, thinking like an actual marketer, and how to attribute different credit and how to create the campaign. Once you have that campaign system set up, you have predictable sales coming in with your marketing campaign. And you have to think differently, because that is what trial and error does to you, right? It helps you think differently, and then eventually you come closer to thinking about how to make things actually work and produce results for you. So hopefully that helps. It gives you some clarity into the underlying problems for these. These are actually symptoms of bigger problems. And when you solve the bigger problems, these issues just go away, right? So if this resonates with you, then keep watching, because this rabbit hole goes a lot deeper. If it doesn't resonate with you, I part as friends, and hopefully it will save you a lot more time if you had to go any further. So, but for those, if this does resonate with you, let's see how far this goes, and it will actually solve a lot of your problems. So the problem we solve for you. So as I mentioned, we are a firm that focuses on e-commerce brands, and we don't do lead gen. We don't hire any client from any industry. We don't just do Facebook campaigns for likes and shares. We are here to solve a very specific problem for you. Specifically two, actually. We solve two problems very well because that's all we focus on. We solve the problem of how to get you new customers and how you can get more revenue from the customers that you get, right? Those are two problems. That's it. Those are the problems we focus on solving for you. And if you solve these, those are really the bottlenecks of the business. If you have those two solved, then the revenue keeps coming in and you can reinvest and grow from there. And that's why we chose to focus on solving these problems, because these are the ones that held our companies back and our clients back. And so that's all we did on perfecting our solution to solving this problem. So the way we solve these problems for you is by our proprietary REM19 marketing system. This marketing system is developed and is based on a lot of those underlying problems and solutions that we discussed earlier. And it goes a lot further. We have actually implemented specific strategies, precise strategies that produces the most results. And we developed these from our decade of marketing experience from our own e-commerce beauty stores as well as our clients, right? And when you have that type of expertise, right, you can look at other e-commerce beauty stores that you work with, you see what works with their internal numbers, the strategy, and then we implement that all to you. Do you think you will succeed? Exactly. That is the unique value we bring to you. Our system is not just our system, but it's also our expertise and our creativity specifically focused on your market. And that's all we do. We get you new customers and we get you more revenue from your customers. That's the problem we solve for you. And the way we do it is through the REM19 marketing system. And so you're probably wondering, what is this REM19 marketing system? And you want to learn more about it. I would too. I mean, this solved a lot of my problems. So when you look at our site, you'll see how we developed the system. And I'm not going to go over all of that with you in this video. Take your time. You can check it out on the website. However, right now, I'll simply show you 3 overlying marketing principles that this system was based on. And these principles will give you a new level of insight as to why your marketing campaigns are not producing the results you desired and expected, right? And these 3 principles are really powerful. And once you go through it, you'll intuitively, it will open you up and it will make sense to you why you had the bottlenecks on your campaigns, because I had the same bottlenecks as well, right? So the 3 marketing principles are the customer awareness journey, number 1, how to target buyers with custom audiences, number 2, and how to properly use retargeting ads, number 3. So let's go with the first one, the customer awareness journey. What exactly is that, right? The best way I can demonstrate this concept is by showing you a couple of ads, right? So I'm sure we are all aware of this 50% off ad, right? You probably ran a couple yourself, right? And you see that everywhere, not just other e-commerce stores, but when you go shopping, there's always some percentage off or some promotional ad, right? And so when we ran these ads, right, and when we first started, and when you probably ran, you were expecting a lot of sales through that, right? And then eventually you see this campaign that didn't pan out the way you expected, right? Or you did make some sales, but eventually just dropped off, right? And the reason why that happens is because of the customer awareness journey. What that basically means is that the customer does not just buy just because there's a discount. First, they have to desire what you're selling, and they have to first see what you value, right? Because people buy from people, right? There has to be a connection, and then the connection builds to desire. And then when you have the desire, then you can cash in on the desire with promotions. So for instance, when we first start with ads, a good trust building ad, right, to develop connection would be an ad like this. Over 1,300 ingredients are banned from cosmetics in Europe, but only 11 are banned in the US. Join our clean beauty movement. Right here, what do we see? The value of the brand. Clean beauty, right? Explore clean beauty. Natural ingredients, vegan. When somebody sees that and they believe in joining the clean beauty movement, or they believe in clean beauty, natural and organic ingredients, that automatically creates a connection, right? A bond with your future customers. So once you have the bond and the trust build, then this ad right over here is a good example of building desire and giving value, right? So this is an ad that kind of goes like this. This is the only lipstick cheat sheet you'll want to keep. Take it now, thank us later. Right here we see our customer, our ideal customers, different events, the girls' night out, the dinner party, the job interview, and different shades they can try, right? For different skin types. And here we can see, oh yeah, this looks like a great shade for me. And this shade is a product that you have in your shop. So they go and they check it out and then they purchase from there, right? You gave value to them first, and you built desire, and you educated on why your products are unique and can really help them, right, with their lives. And once you build that desire, then they come to their shop. Maybe it's a bit too expensive. That's where the 50% off promo comes in and finishes off the sale, right? So we have to think about marketing as a campaign, as a customer awareness journey, right? We do different types of ads to build trust, to build desire, to give value, and then to do the promotion. And when we think of marketing like this, that is when we start seeing results, right? Number 2, targeting buyers with custom audiences. So Facebook is a really good and a really powerful advertising platform because it has so much data about us, right? But when we first start, and I know I did this when I first started, is I just ran for my beauty e-commerce store, maybe I put a competitor like Sephora or Women's Beauty, right, as an interest. And then we run this campaign and we expected a whole lot of results, a whole lot of revenue ROI coming in, and it didn't get what we wanted. And we were like, what's going on, right? Well, didn't I do it exactly like this blog post? Didn't I do it exactly like this video? Why isn't this working, right? So the reason is because just because somebody's interested in that topic does not mean they're ready to buy. Second, they're ready to buy from you, right? You have to answer each of those questions. Why would they buy now, and why would they buy from you? That is why interest is just the beginning stage. You have to create the desire, and you have to create and show your uniqueness on why they should buy from you. That's the first one. The second one is the audiences. So when we target someone like something like Women's Beauty, as I mentioned earlier, they might like Women's Beauty, but they might have just bought their favorite lipstick yesterday. They're not ready to buy from you now. They're simply interested in that, right? It does not mean they're ready to buy. So that's why when you run those broad interests, those type of interests, it doesn't necessarily work because interest is a tenuous connection to purchase, right? You have to develop that interest further to get that to the buying stage, all right? Same thing with their competitor, maybe like Sephora. Just because they like Sephora, yes, it does mean they would probably like Women's Beauty, but they're very loyal to Sephora. It doesn't mean they'll buy from you, right? That's the thing. Just because they're interested in the topic does not mean they'll buy from you. They might have very strong loyalty to Sephora or whatever that competitor is, right? So a better way to go about interest targeting is to segment your interest, because you're using what Facebook's strength is already. It's the data that you already have and the data that they already have in their platform. So in this case, a custom audience, also known as a segmented audience, could be like your customer file. That could be like the email addresses of your customers. If you upload the email address to your customer and you give an ad selling a complementary product to what they purchase, do you think they will buy? Do you think you'll make an ROI on that? Of course, right? That is a very precise segmented audience of people who don't need any convincing about your brand and desire. They already like what you have. It's a lot easier to just give them something that's complementary to what they already like. And they already trust you, right? Same thing with website traffic, custom audience, right? This website traffic that's coming to your website, if they come to your website and they add it to cart, but they did not buy, right? They just left. Do you think it's easier if you can just give them an ad to come back and buy from you than a broad audience like Women's Beauty? Of course, right? Because they already went to your site. They developed the trust and bond with you. They just needed something to finish the sale. Maybe it's a discount. Maybe it's the shipping time or something like that, right? Website traffic. How about engagement audiences? That too. What about audiences that engage with your posts or your ad or your videos, right? Do you think they're more likely to come and buy? Of course, right? Like here's a good example of an audience that we use with our clients. People have watched 25% of your video, or people have watched 95% of your video. Do you think someone who has watched 95% of your video are more likely to come back to your site and make a purchase than someone who's just interested in Sephora? Of course, right? That's why using data to create segmented audiences, right, to come who have already shown interest and desire with your products and your brands, will much more likely to come and make that sale and give you the results that you were expecting, right? That you were hoping for when you first started your marketing campaigns. So that's number 2. Number 3, how to use retargeting ads properly. This is really powerful because retargeting ads is one of the campaigns that have delivered a lot of results for our clients, and I'm sharing this with you. So before I start, I want to quickly just go over what retargeting means to anybody who might not know. Retargeting simply means they went and they engaged with maybe your website, right? They went to your website and they didn't buy, they left. Retargeting means you retarget that person again to come back and make the purchase. That's what retargeting ads do. Once they come to your site or they visited your content or something, it brings them back, right, to eventually make the purchase. It brings them further into the buying stage, right? So here's a good example of a retargeting ad. So here we see the different products and then a testimonial, right, with each of these products. And this is really good because what could have happened is that a customer added it to their cart, but they left, and maybe because their site did not have enough social proof or testimonials. So this ad took care of that, right? It gave that social proof specifically for that product. So they saw the proof, they saw the testimonial, they came back and they bought, and the purchase was complete, right? And so these ads have done really well. And another really strong marketing retargeting campaign is the idea of messenger ads, right? So I want to take this moment and show you, since we have worked with these principles for a long time now, we have developed and perfected our thought process as well as our strategies and all the tools necessary to implement these and make them proven strategies. So for instance, let's go back to this customer awareness journey, right? Number one. So we understand this idea of trust building ads, value ads, and desire ads and promotional ads. So for e-commerce beauty brands, we actually have the templates for proven trust building ads like this. We know what already works. We know the templates. We already have the templates done, right? We simply work with you to customize it for your business, for your values, for your customers, and make a proven ad that combines our expertise, our proven ads, templated, already done with your uniqueness, right? Same thing with these desire ads. We already have the templates done, right? Already proven, it's already done. We simply customize it for your brand, right? To make a proven campaign. Same thing with promotional ads, right? Since we already know these concepts, we have already worked, we tested it, we've proven it, we have already done it for you, right? Custom audiences, we know which custom audiences work and which don't, right? So for email addresses, is it email addresses of people who bought within the last 3 days, last 10 days, last 90 days, right? Which is the ones that work, which ones don't. Same thing with traffic, right? People who bought maybe a $10 order value or a $50 order value or a $100 order value, what really works with that? Or people who bought recently, like within the last 24 hours or 48 hours, engagement ad, right? Maybe people engage 2 pieces of content or 3, or time on site, how long they've been on the site, or which videos that they engage converts the most, or what percentage of the video, right? Those type of audiences, they're segmented. We know the segments that already work because we have done it with other clients and we have done it with our stores. And so it's already proven. We just complement it with your audiences and your website and your data, and we combine our expertise, our proven work with your uniqueness, and we get something that delivers results, right? Same thing with retargeting ads. And actually, coming back to retargeting ads, this is interesting because the reason I want to come back here, yes, we have the retargeting ads that already work and are proven. But more than that, one of the things we do with our firm is not only do we come up with consistent creative ideas and strategies, but we start looking at the marketing industry as a whole and be the first to new things that are developing, right? New market trends that are coming. So we can help you be the leader, right? And take the lion's share of the results, right? Of the new customers that are being generated, right? So for example, here we see the potential of Facebook Messenger ads coming up. Nobody's doing this right now. And the reason we see this is because Messenger ads are very conversational, right? It's, you have questions and they answer and you ask, it's a conversation. And if you think about it, isn't that how the buying cycle works? It's like a conversation, right? You go to maybe your favorite store on the mall, right? And you meet someone on the store. They help you pick maybe the right color for you, the right product for your skin tone, the right quality that you're interested in, maybe at the budget that you want to pay, right? They help you and they deliver value to you, right? And then you build a bond and a trust with them, and then they ask any questions you have, right? It's always a conversation, and eventually when you're ready to buy, you make the purchase. It's the same thing we're doing with messenger ads, not just ad sequences, right? That ask them questions, that gives a conversation. So when the customer is ready to buy, they make the purchase, right? And so messenger ads is one thing. Here they add, for example, here they add it to cart. You get a messenger ad that goes to their phone, and then they can click on it and they buy. And this is really good just by itself, right? Because very few people are doing messenger ads, so the open rates for these are really high. And when you have a lot of people opening, you have a lot of people going here, and you have a lot of people making the sales. But there's a lot more than that. It goes a lot deeper. We have, since we already know this, we have started creating messenger sequence. We created actual messenger sequence and coded it up with our own software and a system that does it for e-commerce beauty brands that creates messenger sequences. We just hook it up to our ad account with yours, and then we just run the sequences that already creates and delivers results through the conversations. So for instance, on this retargeting ad, right, when you add to cart and the customer leaves, we don't just create an ad like this that shows testimonials. Maybe his testimonials wasn't the reason why they didn't buy. Maybe it was the price. Maybe it was the shipping time. So what we do with our sequence is we actually create options. Hey, we saw you went to your site. What is the reason you didn't buy today, right? Was it the shipping time? That's an option. Was it the price? Was it testimonials of the product? So when they click shipping time, we give them expedited shipping options or all of our shipping options. If it's a price, we give them a discount, right? If it's testimonials, we give out testimonials for that product, right? We overcome their objections during the conversation in our messenger sequence. And when they have that objection overcome, then they come in and they make their purchase, right? And that is how the real, we see the future, and we have already built sequences proven, they're already done, right? For e-commerce beauty brands that does these questions and overcomes objections, not by guessing, not by assuming, but by asking our customers and solving their problems for them. And as a result, they come and they purchase for us because we delivered value, right? And that's what we see here. And then we have already kind of built everything out, right? We're showing you this idea and we have already proven it and already done it for you. That is what we bring, right? Not only the creativity and the expertise, but also the done for you, hands-off work. And that is how we get results, right? That is how we get these type of results. And intuitively now, hopefully it makes sense to you, even more than any of these proof that I showed you, which is obviously very strong, but generally just intuitively, doesn't that make sense now? It's not just about creating one ad. It's about a sequence that a person goes through to develop trust and like and engagement with you before they buy, right? That's a natural sequence of how humans buy, right? And you're following a natural cycle, right? And that's how you can deliver results like this, right? We work with 6, 7, 8-figure brands. 2.25 million they gave us, we gave them 5.83 million. Here, this brand gave us 282,000, we gave them 470,000 back, right? We did it with smaller budgets as well. I mean, everybody starts small, right? Even my e-commerce beauty brands, we all start small, right? We start with those budgets and we work our way up. And we have done bigger budgets than this as well. And there you have to start thinking about audience saturation, different considerations come. But anyway, you can see these results from it, and there's a whole lot in our site, and feel free to have a look at that at your time. But these ideas and these systems that are proven, they already work and they generate results. And it is because of this, we give guarantees like this, right? This guarantee that we have, by month 3, we will double your ad spend or we'll give your money back. End of story, right? You do not lose with us. You either double your money or more. Most of the time it's more, right? Or we refund your money. It's that simple. And the reason and the way I came up with this guarantee is I put myself on your shoes, right? Because I am in your shoes. I am like running a lot of shops and I see this. And so the questions I ask myself, what can I do to make this a no-brainer for me, right? And when I answered that question and I made it a no-brainer, that is the guarantee I came up and gave you, right? We basically will either double or we give your money back. This de-risks the decision for you. And the beauty of this is now when we decide to talk, it is a very pleasant conversation. It is not, can you deliver results? It is not, how do you do? What do you do? What makes you different? None of that, right? This is already shown in this video, and if you're with me this far, this already resonates with you, right? Or you would have already left by now. If this already resonates with you, our call is simply, are we a good fit? Can I take the investment you made with me and turn it around and give you more and make this a long-term beneficial relationship for both of us, right? It is that. It's simply, are we a good fit? And if I feel like we cannot do this, then we simply don't work together. But if you're this far, you probably are a good candidate because you probably have an e-commerce brand, you probably have had those issues, and now you see the underlying causes, and now you see solutions, and now you see them proven with results, and they're already done for you, right? Then you can kind of hand it off to someone who loves what they do, and they're good at it, and you can reinvest, and so it helps you focus on what you love to do, right? And what you're good at, which is delivering a great experience for your customers, who are people just like you, right? With your passions, and then you have a much better life as well. So the last thing I wanted to bring up is the REM19 system. You're probably wondering, what is the REM19 system? Well, I will show it to you in our call. This system, it took us about 10 years to develop not only the big piece, the campaigns that work, but also the little campaigns that we develop inside that supports the overall system. And so in our call, I'll show the system to you as well as customize it for your business. But right now I'm just going to tell you just the overall idea behind it. So REM19 is actually an acronym. R stands for retargeting, all of our retargeting type campaigns. E is for educational ads, all the value type ads. M is for marketing mechanism, which is systemizing all the educational type ads and retargeting ads. 1 stands for one seed campaign to test out and make sure all the strategies work out. And 9 is a scalable 9 campaigns to actually expand the marketing system so it starts delivering results and compounds the results. So as I said, I show the system to our clients and our prospects. However, once our client roster is full, the offer is off the table, right? Because this takes a long time to go over and show all my clients and then tailor make it for each and every one. So at that point, it's off the table. However, we can still chat though, and I'll help you however I can, because one of my philosophies is to give back and to give value first. So if you're an e-commerce brand and you found value with the chat we had here, then you really should call now. It's probably one of the best investment decisions you'll make for your business. All right, other than that, look forward to speaking with you and meeting you then.